And welcome back. I'm very excited that we're continuing the JavaScript series, and today we'll be covering operators, as you've just seen me type out. So let's get started then, right? So the first thing we're going to start off with is arithmetic operators. So, you know, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all of that jazz we'll be covering today. So let's get started with a couple of variables. So we'll do let, and we'll just do variable a is equal to 10, and then we'll do let b is equal to 5 as an example, right? So we've got two variables, a and b, and both are of type number, as you can see on the screen here. And now we want to showcase how do you add in JavaScript, right? So as you would probably imagine, we'll just do a console log so we get it directly in the console. We'll do a plus b, so you already know that is going to give us back 15. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly run this file, and you can see 15. So if you want to add something or add two variables together, you can use this plus operator. It's pretty simple, as you can probably imagine. And then we'll do minus. So again, not b plus b, but we'll do a minus b. So you already know that's going to give us back 5. And we're going to quickly go ahead and run this. And again, I'll give you back 5. The reason I'm rushing through this is because I know this will make sense to a lot of people how to add and subtract, but know that how we do it in the real world is exactly the same how we do it in JavaScript. So it's pretty simple. And then we'll do multiplication, multiply, and we'll take this and we'll use the star here. So if you want to times 2 or multiple different variables together, then you can use the star operator, and what we'll do is quickly go ahead and run, and as you can see 10 times 5 is 50, so that's correct, right? So we're on the right path. Now division, right? How do you divide? And as you know, for everyone who wants to view this later on, I'll view the code and we'll have everything annotated and up on GitHub for you to all review. We'll just accept this suggestion for now, and you'd use this slash sign here if you want to divide two variables together. And so now we're seeing 10 divided by 5. We'll go ahead and run, and as expected we are getting 2 back in the console, so that's correct. Okay, and now this is the interesting one, and you know what a lot of people will not know about is modulus operator. So modulus, and we'll go ahead and we'll take this, but let's just give it a little bit of space and let me find it on my keyboard, wherever it is. Where is that sign? Oddly, I can't even see it on my keyboard. Oh, here we go. This is the percentage sign. It took me a while to find, but here we are. So you're probably thinking like, alright, like what is it? What does modulus mean? And modulus essentially means that if it's divisible by. So we're just going to do a modulus b. I just want you to see what the output is in the console, and it'll make a little bit more sense, right? And here we've got 0 returned. And essentially what this means is that there is no remainder, right? So if you look up the definition of like what a modulus operator is, you'll see that essentially it will return the remainder of what's happening as part of that division. And because 5 goes into 10, you know, twice, as you probably already imagined, you know, we will get 0 returned by the modulus operator. So it's good to know, and there's plenty of use cases for that. So keep that in mind. Alright, so yeah, that's good. We've covered the basics of some of the arithmetic operators that we'll cover. Now, what happens when you want to increment something, or increment a particular variable? If you want to add one, how would you do it, right? So, increment, let's say you had a, and you wanted to add 1. Could you do a equals a plus 1? So a lot of juniors that might be there, they might do this, but there's an easier way to like increment it, and what we'll do is we'll just do a plus plus, and that is it. Let's just put it here, and what we'll do is go ahead and console log a, and we just want to see what it will return, right? You will be expecting to see 11 now in the console, and we get 11, so we can add really easily. We can add one easily by using plus plus. So that's kind of like, there's like simple stuff that's built in to the language that makes life a lot easier for us. So just make sure that you use that. And you can also do that for the decrement. So here you can probably imagine a lot of people do equals a minus 1, alright, but we won't do that. What we'll do is a minus minus, and we'll just console log a again, and now we're expecting to see 10 again, which is exactly what we expected, right? So again, this is a really shorthand form of doing it, and again, it's something that will end up saving you time as well. So if you can use it, try and use it. So yeah, hopefully that is helpful. What we'll do now is we'll move on to assignment operators, right? So if you want to assign value to a particular variable, we can also have a look at that, okay? So what we'll look at now is we already have a and b, so we're going to use that. So a, if you wanted to add something to a, as an example, you want to add like 50, we don't have like a shorthand for that, but what you can do is you can use the plus equals, and then you can do 10 as an example. Let's do that. Let's do assignment, and so what we're expecting now is 20 for it to be returned, and we'll just do a console.log a here and run, and we've got 20 back. And likewise for all of the operators that we've seen here, if you wanted to do like multiplication, subtraction or division, you can use this shorthand rather than doing a equals a times 10 or a plus 10 or whatever it might be. See if you can try and use that, and obviously if you have any issues, just post a comment in the comments and I'll be sure to help you out with that. But again, I'll provide all of the examples in the link for GitHub as well, so you can go ahead and view that. Okay, so now we can move on to comparison operators. So I've declared two variables already, x, which is equal to 10, and we've got y, which is also equal to 10, but as a string and not as a number, as you can see, and we can see in our IDE here. So there's a few operators that we're going to look at. Let's look at the equality operator and how you check to see if two items or two variables are equal is, well, let's do a console.log, and we'll do x equals y, right? So let's have a look at what the output will be in the console, and we're getting back is true, right? And you think, what? How does that make sense? How is x the same as y, right? And it's just checks like if it's equal but not strict. We have another thing in JavaScript which is for strict equality. So let me show you what strict equality is. Strict equality, let's just fix that here. Excellent. So now you're wondering, yeah, you know what, Raz, it doesn't make any sense to me. X is definitely not equal to y. So let's do equals, and what this means is when we do the three equals, we're basically telling JavaScript that we want to do strict equality. So not only are we checking if the values are the same, but we also want to check if the type is the same as well. So sure, both of them are technically 10, but one is a string and one is a number. So now this should return false. So we'll go ahead and run, and as we can see, right, our latest one here is returning false, which is correct, because strictly speaking, right, while they might be the same, they will have the same number, right? One is a string and one is a number, so they're not the same. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. And now what we'll do is false, just to check if something is like, you know, if you want to check if something's equal to something or not equal to something, I'll show you how to do that. So let's do not equals. So now console.log, and we'll do x is not equal to y. So what this not equals check is that if this is in fact true, you know, it will return true, otherwise it will return false, right? So is a, sorry, not a, is x equal to y, what are we expecting? Is not equal to y, right? Go ahead and run, and you'll see again that we're getting false, and you're thinking, what? We've just proven that x is not equal to y because 1 is a number and 1 is a string, right? So how does that make sense? Let's just change this. Alright, let's copy this and let's put this down here, and in brackets I'll put strict. And you probably already imagine what we're going to check here is what we're going to do is we're going to add another equals here, and look at the magic happen when we go ahead and run this file. And now we get true that x is not equal to y, and strictly speaking, right, because because 1 is a number and the other is a string. So technically, yeah, you have to use that strict equality. So that's something that's really, really important in JavaScript. They need to be aware of strict equality. So just make sure that you keep on top of that. And again, all of this code will be available on GitHub for you to view and come back to. And of course, you can come back to this video anytime you want. Other things that we'll be looking at as well is, greater than and less than. So let's do that. So do greater than. So if you want to check if if the value is greater than x, so what we'll do is we'll do console.log, and we'll get rid of this, and we'll do x is greater than 5. Right, so let's scroll up, let's see how we denote it. So x we've given 10. Is x greater than 5, right? And you use this sort of arrow here to check if it's greater than. Is it? Obviously it is. We'll go ahead and run, and it's returning true. And then we'll check if it's less than. And we'll go ahead and do console log, and we'll just flip it around. Is x. I don't know why I've got a there. Let's change that. Yep, brilliant. So is x, less than 5? And obviously that's not true, so it's returning false. And the other thing that you can do is check if it's greater than or equal to. So if you want to do that, you can use this and go ahead and run, and then you can also do a less than or equal to as well, just by adding the equal sign there. So just be sure that you can do those things, and it is available to you. It's just kind of what you would have learned in maths at school. It's all very similar, and it's all things that we can do inside of JavaScript. It's good to know because oftentimes we will be doing some calculations, particularly if you want to display something on the screen, or you want to work some stuff out, or you just want to check the equality to make sure that maybe the input of the user is equal to the input you're expecting, or to another value if you're comparing it. So it's good to know. But yeah, hopefully that helps. What we will do is probably have another episode on looking at logical operators, and we'll look at if statements and stuff like that alongside it as well. I think that is the plan, but hopefully this helps all of you, and we will continue making this series and hopefully adding a little bit more to it, possibly even a React series coming soon. Thanks so much for watching.